who put this video, who uploaded this video, edited version on Twitter. It was a guy named Yin San, probably a fake account with a history of a lot of posts, pro-China posts. So again, the question to media is, why isn't there any coverage about a possible involvement? But who's benefiting this? Who's involved in this? What has China done after all of this? China has, for the first time in many decades, uncensored the word Dalai Lama in Tibet. Why isn't there international news about this? Chinese diplomats, Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka has openly accused His Holiness of sexual abuse. Why isn't there international news about this? Chinese state media has linked this particular story with other stories in the past and trying to build a pattern on this. Now we know clearly who is behind all of this, who is benefiting all of this. Because China has spent billions of dollars in the past 6 decades, since they illegally invaded our country, billions of dollars to destroy a single biggest threat to them, who is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And they couldn't succeed. They couldn't succeed. And now they're taking the help of social media, where people are so exposed to so much negativity, so much controversy, so much sensational news that international community, people find it very difficult to believe that there exists a person who could be as pure, as compassionate, as transparent as His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The initial video was live streamed on February 28th. Thousands of people watched it live. And from then on to the time when this person posted on Twitter, there was a time gap of more than 1 month. Nobody raised issue between this time gap. Why? Because those who watched it live stream, they watched the whole story with whole context. And they didn't find anything as the media has accused to be. So I'm hoping, because I think we all believe in sense of goodness. I hope there are more people who believe in understanding the whole context and whole story than a 30-second clip. And I also want to send a message, I mean, not necessarily me, but our gathering here today, Tibetans across the world, as in India we saw, Ladakis, Arunachal Pradesh, thousands of people came there. Who knows Dalai Lama best? Tibetans, we have known His Holiness for a long time, in our whole lifetime. Is there a single Tibetan who is misinterpreting this? No. So do they think that Tibetans don't know His Holiness? Unless they are accusing us of not understanding, not recognizing His Holiness, then there's no legitimacy to this story. So we're here. If anybody wants to go through His Holiness, go to His Holiness attacking, they have to go through millions of Tibetans. And I'm here. Thank you. Once again, I would like to thank you, because if it wasn't for Shonu Sopa to organize this, we wouldn't have showed up here. So thank you very much.
Media, oh, leave His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Media, tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Media, 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 tell the truth.
Long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
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 한종 들이 하는 것은 모든 생각이 지금 광고 보여줘 말하나 되고 가라 제거해서 하나 오늘 지금 뒤치는 누가 지금 뒤치는 지금 여기다 군조도 쏘지 그 계속도 된다는 거 말게다 군조들 이거 얘는 나도 자치사지로 쏘
내가 무대대셔 왜 나는 경고장만 니네가 전에 무대대장 아니면 뭐 지금 꾸질라 마수티 나야 저 진짜들이 내가 비가면 시험나 보여만 좀 지시
rồi thôi là về cái nhìn thế đi rồi anh xem nó chỉ tao sao tiền là chân thế sao anh nghe xuyên á cho bé con này cái anh nó bắt rồi là như tham gia này cái và anh nó bắt rồi
Dalai Lama's character and the derogatory comments made against him. The cultural context of the exchange has been grossly misunderstood and misrepresented, leading to the unfair and hurtful accusations. We are deeply hurt by the misinterpretation of the recent event involving His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which has been blown out of proportion and taken out of context. On February 28, 2022, a public hearing occurred, but took over a month long to suddenly and quickly circulated on mainstream and social media, showing a brief cut clip of His Holiness the Dalai Lama interacting with a young child. This very clearly indicates the malicious intention of someone working behind to propel into a sensational news. This clip was taken out of context and without consideration for the cultural norms surrounding expression of genuine care and love between a grandfather and a child. The subsequent misinterpretation of His Holiness' action and derogatory comments that followed have deeply hurt the sentiments of all his followers around the world. We believe that the controversy surrounding the video was due to the lack of understanding of Tibetan culture and the ways in which emotions are expressed within it. Expression of emotions and manners today has become westernized, and we must not impose the norms of other cultures onto Tibetan expression of affection and care. Diversity and inclusion means understanding of other cultural norms and learn to accommodate them in greater societal context. The Dalai Lama has been always lived a life of sanctity, followed the Buddhist monastic tradition, and committed to a life of celibacy. His years of spiritual practice have gone beyond the pursuit of sensory pleasure, and his actions have always been guided by his commitment to promoting human values and fostering happiness for all. Therefore, the act of genuine love and compassionate care has been misinterpreted in a sexual context. Right after the event that took place on February 28th, the boy and his mother expressed clearly their appreciation of the affection and care that His Holiness showed to them. It is important to note that the Dalai Lama has routinely granted audience to people from all over the world, and he makes every effort to engage with them in a playful and positive manner. It is unfair to label him with all kinds of names based on one misunderstood incident, and we must recognize the harm that such labels can cause. To the Tibetan people, the Dalai Lama is more than a religious leader. He is the ultimate protector, irreplaceable leader, and a guiding light. He is the embodiment of the Tibetan people's identity, the emblematic symbol of the unity, and their free spokesman. His Holiness has devoted his life to carry out 4 principal commitments for the benefit of humanity, including promoting human values, fostering inter-religious harmony, preserving Tibetan culture, and working towards the resolution of Tibetan issues. The politicization of this incident by the pro-Chinese sources cannot be ignored. We must recognize the larger political.
The name of our Buddha, it is our duty and responsibility to make sure that the world understands the contributions of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It's also our duty to ensure that when the world talks about the words of diversity and inclusion, we must know and have the vocabulary to call them out, to walk the talk, because they clearly are not. So here we go, the statement. Language, culture, and context define how people view any given situation. For Tibetans who saw the video of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's interaction with the child at a public event in February, it is clear that he was displaying affection, warmth, and humor. It is through a lifetime of familiarity with His Holiness the Dalai Lama that we all understand his words and his actions. But for some people who don't know the situational context or the cultural context, or who didn't even bother to look up online, especially because of the world that we live in, the current world where children truly do suffer from serious abuse at the hands of powerful people, from religious institutions, there was a belief and assumption that the act was malign and the child was harmed. But what we can say is that with absolute certainty, that is not what happened. It is instructive that people who make these claims listen to what the child and the family have to say about their experience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Just immediately after the event, both the mother, who is seen on the stage right beside His Holiness, give an interview with the child, expressing how much of a blessing it was
If the world is not satisfied with these concerns, we urge people to listen to their own words of the child and the mother themselves about what happened. This incident, aftermath of this incident, people can just walk away. Say, oops, I made a mistake, oops, sorry. But for us, the Tibetan people, the followers and the supporters of His Holiness Dalai Lama, what has been the most painful for Tibetans and our allies is witnessing the rush to condemn His Holiness. Any attempt to understand that life is remarkably unmarred by any scandal or controversy, even though that upsets the Chinese leadership very much. On the contrary, what His Holiness the Dalai Lama has done is what very few leaders of his stature do. He has welcomed and embraced change. He has willingly given up political power. He has forgiven and even seeks compromise with the same Chinese leaders that are destroying Tibet. As movement leaders and activists, we're not surprised to see a massive operation by the Chinese government who is trolling and making sure that they're working amplified times to drive this story, maximizing their views and outrage in order to distort the reality. Their aim is to destroy the reputation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the movement for Tibetan freedom. For the world, there is no secret Dalai Lama. He is who we know him to be, an 87-year-old Buddhist monk who has devoted his life to teaching, practicing, meditating on wisdom and compassion. And for the world.
With such high positive energy. It's a really nice feeling meeting him, and you get a lot of that positive energy. It's not just like that, but once you get the positive energy, I think you're happier and it's a better thing and you smile a lot more. It was a really good experience so far.
I'm Dr. Payal Kanodia, Trustee M3M Foundation. We've been working in Dharamshala on this skill center which we started last year, and since then we were looking at seeking blessings from His Holiness. And today we got this opportunity, and especially when my family was there with me, and all the students who graduated from I Empower Academy of Skills were also present. We're totally blessed to have got these blessings from His Holiness. He came, addressed us in person, taught about peace that the world needs and how everyone needs to feel together like brother and sister. And I absolutely cannot express.
미래기 가르치니 바이 시민도 미래기 가르쳐 샤라나 겨울무치 긴용가 샤로니 되샤리 되게 잘라 개고지 되어 말해. 어디 of course it's a bias. 삼노탕 와요. 딱 먼저기 뒤랑 비기 쉬고래. 차다 되는 당고 말했어. 이 말이 다 중요해. 이라니 상계기 단다 인터뷰 마대 봐도 나도 산이 쉬는 미래기 가르친 치고에나 되게라지 한국사에 되거나 캠페인 치고나 발 치고나 삼노탕 되는 거지. 근데 사실 배우지 야자 야매. CB24 संगीत 당보 말했어. 이 답지하고 맞춰야 되는 것이야. 아니 가야면은 간다. 보다 아마지 인터뷰 디테일로 지는 가지는 거 산이 쉬는 게 무슨 스페셜 파일 지대. 그 다리디 지게 굉장히 칼라는 CB24 뉴스채널이 나도 내내 맞추고 참자야지 CBC 뉴스채널 참자야. 제가 빠져 들어서 먹고 가야는 가지는 나도 넘주 배워기 지선하라. MP NPP 이나래 시티 카운슬 이나래 모든 할리요. 먼저 상관없이 이 당사에 단답하게 충족인 건설을 백 yap장하고 디자인한 다 단답 문제들에 대한 치는 어디 주시에 CB24다 CBC
Media, tell the truth. Media, tell the truth. Long live Dalai Lama. 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 Media, tell the truth. Media, tell the truth. Media, tell the truth. Long live Dalai Lama. Long live Dalai Lama.
Knew about the Tibetan people rally for peace march for media not showing the truth. We hope this has inspired you to join us in our fight for honest journalism and media accountability. As viewers, we have the power to demand the truth from the media. We can start by showing our support on social media with these 3 hashtags. Hashtag media tell the truth. Hashtag long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama. By spreading the word, we can make our voices heard and hold the media accountable. Thank you.